Okay, now that we've gone through all of the different add-ons that you can use when posting to whole class or groups or the whole school, let's talk about this item right here, requesting volunteers. I didn't show you this one yet because this can have multiple purposes. I used this as a tool for getting people to sign up for shifts at our spring carnival. It's been used for getting volunteers at many of our whole school events, but I've also used it as a way to do portfolio conference signups. There's two different ways you can do conference signups, and I actually really like this for our particular setup. So when you click on request volunteers, oh look, all of my old things are still here. I'm going to just say remove form because I don't need a permission slip. Remove all, I don't need that. Okay, so now I've got my volunteer sign up here. So let's say that I want to host portfolio conferences on the first day of school here. It's a horrible idea, but we're going to do it. I get to enter a task. So for the carnival, I just put in the different shifts. I did setup and breakdown. But for portfolio conferences, I just typed portfolio conference and I put in the different time frames. So I think what our first one was 2:30 p.m. and we do 15-minute slots. And what makes our portfolio conferences unique is that we have lots of families that come in all at the same time, 3, maybe 4, but usually 3 families. So the nice thing about using the volunteer list is I can say I need 3 families, and what I'm really saying is I have 3 different slots available during this time, right? So now I can add another task, and I'll just call it portfolio conferences. I think I numbered them just to help keep it clear, but it's not super important. You could just call it portfolio conferences. And my next time slot was 2:45 p.m. to 3 p.m. And again, I have 3 slots available. And so what this does is it blocks out 3 chunks of time. And as a parent signs up, it grays out one of them, but it leaves the other 2 available. Which when you're using their traditional conference sign up here in Parent Square, it doesn't allow you to do that. It's kind of a one-on-one block setup. And then the nice thing is once I've got these typed in, I can click repeat, and I'm going to do this daily for the entire week until the until Thursday. I say okay. And if I were to post this, the other really nice piece about this is I can go in and if I call a parent and actually set up that conference, I can go in and I can plug in that they have taken up one of those blocks so that everybody will know that that block is taken. So it's a really, really helpful way of doing parent-teacher conferences, of doing volunteers for whole school events, or if you just need a volunteer in your classroom, you can use that. The other option you have for conference signups is here in add-ons. This is a place you can find other tools that Parent Square offers, and you can also just learn about how the tools work. Kind of a funny thing to note, these are not buttons that will take you to the tools. So for example, I'm showing you the conferences tool. If I click on it, it just gives me more information about what the tool does. So all of this, just come in here for information. That's add-ons. However, on the left-hand side here, this is where I can click on conference signups. And now it'll take me to the actual tool. Because I think no specific classes have been generated, just the 7th grade as a whole, I can't actually choose one right now. Those will get imported later on, and then I can actually go in and choose it. But very similar to the volunteer sign up, I just pick my date that I want to host conferences. And I choose the whole afternoon that I want to offer the time slots. So this is, in here, I'm going to be hosting many conferences. I can host a recess if I need to take a break during this for whatever reason. I can choose how long my conferences will be, and I can choose the amount of time I need between conferences, which for portfolio conferences, we actually don't need. Parents kind of just flow in and out, which is really nice. You can hide the names of parents who sign up so that you don't have any issues, which is, it happens occasionally. And then the next page has you go ahead and finish everything. It may give me an error because I don't have a class selected. There it is. So I can't show you the rest of that, but if you just walk through it, it's pretty self-explanatory. It's got all the information that you need to put in, and I'm happy to walk you through that in the last quarter of the year if you need a hand. So those are your two options for how to have conference signups as well as ask for volunteers at school.